Okay, that's enough of the Porter Wagoner for a little bit this afternoon on my stereo here at the house. Always listening to Outlaw Country. Yeah, Joey only. You know me. Welcome to Caribou Weather Dude YouTube channel. Yeah, gonna look at when it's gonna warm up in BC. Gonna look at what's coming this week for. We got a bit of a system that's gonna be rolling in on shore on Thursday, be affecting the interior a lot on Friday-ish. That is going on, so I'm gonna have all the details for that for you this afternoon. And let's see what else. What else? Okay. Hit like, share, subscribe. Okay, let's go. There it is. This is bad news. My God.
Falling out right now.
Anything could happen. Get on! Wow. I'll watch the video later. They try mopping this. Oh, yeah. For those of you who don't like when I talk politics, I got good news for you. I got to shut my mouth for the next 2 weeks because I took a job that requires me to not express political opinions. Whatever I've said in the past, I have a right to as a Canadian. But now that I'm taking this job, I'm going to cease from any partisan, at least, discussion. Although I don't know if I'm necessarily partisan because there's no party I support outright. People should know that I voted different ways at different times for different candidates. So, for me, I think the process is as important as the result. And I may not like the results we get in the Caribou. So, you know what? I'm at least going to make sure the process is good, make a couple bucks off it, and see everybody in my town, make sure it's a safe place for everybody, and do my part to help the election happen. That's I believe in democracy. I really do. So that's me. Going to be cutting out the political talk for a couple weeks here on the channel. Doesn't mean I won't be controversial at times. Just means I'm going to stay away from partisan talks now for a little bit. And I've honestly, for the last 2 weeks, I made a couple political shows the last couple days, but the last couple of weeks, I kind of backed off knowing this might happen and trying to, not because I thought I needed to be quiet, but because I needed to get practiced for being quiet. And it's something that's hard for me to do. So I hope that practice period has set me forward in order to, anyways, let's go. Let's talk about weather. 3:40 in the afternoon at the time of recording. We got a bunch of convective cells popping up in the BC interior, most notably in the Caribou here at this time, although none have seemed to throw any lightning yet. The one near Prince George seems like it might have a capable spot or two. It wouldn't be unusual to see any of these guys around Quesnel pop up or Horsefly throw a lightning bolt or two, but so far it's been pretty quiet that way for lightning this afternoon, as far as I'm aware at least. So there's that. I didn't think there was a high chance of thunderstorm today. Monday was really the best chance, and that's what we saw. Truthfully, on Monday, quite a bit of activity actually in the province, more than you would normally expect at this time in April. So where are we in the big picture? Let's go to the satellite here and have a look, and you can see our little low pressure system here that's going to ride up these isobars. The high pressure here is going to steer it right in. Of course, high pressure goes clockwise, so that's a motion that sends it this way, while the low pressure goes counterclockwise. So the two of them together make quite a nice motion together. So this here will illustrate a general flow of the motion that's going on. Most of the continent's pretty quiet right now, although high pressure's got things on the cool side in Ontario. I'm happy to report that my friend Pixie did get her power back last night, actually. So that was 9 days they were without power, I believe it was, in Huntsville, Bracebridge area, somewhere in there. I think they're living right now. I'm not exactly sure. I haven't been home to Ontario in a long time, but glad you got your power back, Pix. Sounds like we're finally getting through the cleanup on that Ontario story, but man, what a story that was. So this little low, it may develop a little bit deeper over the next day or two. We'll look at that and see how it's going to impact. Certainly got windy conditions coming to the coast tomorrow. There's no special weather statements or whatnot yet. I don't know if there will be, if it will meet the criteria for bad weather officially at the time, but we'll see. I think tomorrow we'll know. Tomorrow will be the day they release that kind of stuff. So the big question is, when's it going to warm up? This is the 500 millibar animation. This is your jet stream, more or less. As you can see, there's been some blizzard conditions up in the north that have been going on there, northern Quebec and whatnot, and up by Baffin Island. Not really our concern greatly. A little bit of precip in Ontario and whatnot's been going on, but nothing major left. I think that's working its way out. Here's our next system moving into BC. Blammo, there you go, up the coast on Thursday, the 10th of April. I think in terms of the interior, the coast, though, it'll be widespread up and down the coast. That's the usual for you. And now look at this. We got this low pressure building here. We got this ridging here. There's more severe weather outbreaks coming to the States is what I'm saying, I guess, right now. Look at that trough settling in. So that's going to be a nice big low pressure bomb. So something's going to be happening there. We'll look at that. And as you can see, the jet stream still south of BC as we get to the 12th of April. Now we got some ridging coming up. That's going to be nice. That's going to be nice. There you go. There you go. About the 14th of April or so, we're looking at being into the warm here in BC, into the warm weather again. So that's nice. Will it stick around long? Probably. Maybe. Unfortunately, this temperature model, this North American product, will not go as far as the 14th. So I won't be able to really illustrate. But as you can see, some warm blasts up into the prairies, just to the border country there. Quite warm. Looking like in the 70s. Right, which is in the 20s for us, right? So nice weather up there. Still very cold, though, at times up along, Hudson Bay and whatnot. I guess they expect that. Chilly nights for BC. Yeah, look how warm it is down south. There's a lot of warmth down there, and we're just waiting for a mechanism to invite it on up, and we know that's coming now, sometime around the 14th of April, more or less. We got a bit of time, but I think that by the time we get into next week, we're looking at warmer conditions. As for who's getting the precip in this next round, we'll give you the accumulation total here just to kind of paint the picture of where it's going. So, bam, Northern Vancouver Island, big time. Central Coast, big time. Coast Mountains, big time. A little bit here in the Cariboo, a little bit up the Northern Rockies, a little bit in the Plateau north of Prince George. Fort Nelson seeing a bit of a blast of snow. If we, though, go a little further, and we look at this warm weather as it comes, we'll be getting that warm sector, and that'll be bringing storms up to the north coast. So that's why you're going to see those numbers increase up there before it slides its way back on down, which is probably when our door is going to get shut sometime. But as you can see, not a lot for the Cariboo, right? Not a lot for Kamloops, not a lot for central interior. These precipitation events generally will affect the mountain tops, but often the dry belts in the province don't get much of it. So keep that in mind as we're looking at the forecast today. I'm not predicting anything crazy for those of you who live in areas that don't tend to stay fairly dry as it is. But that's just some of our crazy precipitation numbers that we're looking at the coast. That's good news. Everyone wants more precip. Some in the Cariboo Mountains here looks good. A little bit in the Rocky Mountains over the next week. That looks good too. We want that. So let's get to the point of the story here. A little chance of lightning in the Alberta foothills today, maybe southern Alberta. They had a couple flashes there. I know Jenny Hagen caught some hail yesterday too in Saskatchewan there. That was not quite dime size, but bigger than grapple for sure. Good size hail she had there. Okay, so here's our low pressure bomb coming up there on Wednesday. And it's not a bomb technically. I just call it that because I needed a word. A bomb needs to drop 25 millibars in 24 hours, 24 and 24. This isn't doing that, obviously. It's not very strong low. It just seemed like a nice stream, though, still pointed at us. It may be carrying a lot of precipitation, even if it's not particularly pissed off. Strong winds up the coast. Yeah, I could see that, but nothing crazy. I think when it moves through, though, we'll probably have a wind event on Friday in parts of the BC interior that we were mentioning last time around. So Thursday, 7 a.m. Our low is now down to 998 millibars. It's strengthening a little bit on the coast. That's making the winds a little stronger up Vancouver Island. We got that precip that's going basically from somewhere Whistler north up to Terrace, all through the Coast Mountains, maybe a little bit in the greater Smithers area, right? Up in the lakes country there too, looks like. And then we're watching how this low is trying to make its way inland, and it's going to take a northerly route, which will make for precipitation down south sort of counterintuitively. You can see how everything's kind of stacking up along the mountains here and trying to move on in. The low is now weakening and faltering. It's not got the strength to really move on through, but it will recreate. You'll see. So Friday morning, still dry in the central interior, snowing hard in the north. Rocky Mountains looking pretty gross. Maybe a bit of freezing rain even at some spots in the Rockies and in the Kootenays. Be wary if you're traveling on Friday. Northern BC, big time. You're going to be getting it. There's our low moving on up to the north. Bam, there she goes. Off she goes. And that should be making us a bit of a wind event on Friday as it does. So we'll be watching for these wind expectations on our coming forecasts. In fact, why don't we just take a second here and we'll go to wind gusts like we did the other day and just see, like, if they're 39 steadies, that's pretty good actually. What are we looking at for wind gusts? We're looking at some strong winds up there, okay? So everybody who's in the Alberta side of the Rockies, mostly, That's where you're going to be seeing the majority of it. Some of that will stack up on the Mackenzie side of the Rockies. Yeah, a little bit blasty through Prince George. I mean, you expect some, could be windy enough to make some power outages. Sometimes 40, 50K winds is all you need to knock branches out. So be ready for the fact that you may see some power outages on Friday. It's not out of the question some winds come into southern BC, but probably the show is probably to the north where a lot of this low is dragging that in behind us. Sorry about that. And things will start to clear on Friday as they do in behind. And that just sort of gives you your larger look at the low, So not much for the interior, no, not really at all. We could see some instability. We're not seeing any lightning icons on here, but it's been kind of the pattern, some afternoon instability. So I wouldn't be shocked if we see more of that sort of in the tail of this or prefrontally as well, right? So lingering precip Friday night still in southern BC. Nothing fancy, nothing crazy. Maybe a little heavier on that Rocky Mountain side. Looks like by Blue River, you're going to see a pretty solid band most likely there. Revelstoke, we'll go to 2D so we can get a better look. You're sitting at 0 at Revelstoke on Saturday at midnight. So even down the town site, you might get a little bit of snow. Kamloops, maybe a little above 0. We'll see if it falls as rain or snow for you. It could be snow until it's a couple hundred feet above you and then changing to rain, New low trying to develop on the Alberta side. Is that what's going on there? Yeah, it sure looks like it. That's our low. It really wasn't well organized to begin with when it came through. It wasn't very powerful. It did bring us some precip and whatnot, but nonetheless. In terms of severe for the States, you'll be looking for when this low starts to formulate itself a little bit more strongly. As you can see, as I was saying, things are moving up the coast there and make for clearing through the weekend in southern BC. That's the good news. And what kind of temperatures are we looking at already? I mean, by the time we're on Sunday afternoon at 2 in the afternoon, you're going to be seeing still, in the sun, it's going to be warmer than that, sure. Winds the warm up coming for sure. Well, by Monday, 1,500. Okay, that looks good. We'll take some of that. So we're into double digits by next week. Into double digits on the Alberta side as well. So that's what we're looking forward to. We get a little bit of this precip for a little bit, but then hopefully we start to see things warm up in Western Canada. I mean, it's already been warmer here than Eastern Canada, so we can't complain. And look at some of these temperatures. Sask's going to be getting early, up to 20 early for them in the year. So, and then we got our next low pressure bomb that'll come for us sometime next week, and that'll be a whole nother story. But yeah, lingering precip, nothing too crazy for the interior, I think, over the next day or two. No, nothing that crazy. Most of the coast is going to take it pretty hard. Northern BC is going to take it pretty hard. A little bit into the mountain ranges. Make sure to check your local listings. Oh yeah, look at that. Thursday night, seeing some lightning flash monikers in there in the Caribou. So that's something that just about snuck by me. Don't be surprised if you see a couple flashes of lightning out towards here in Wells on Friday morning, Thursday night. That is kind of been happening. Nothing crazy yet, but we're really early in the spring pattern, and it's already throwing lightning at times. And sometimes I find that's an indicator of what we might see in the summer. It's not always an indicator of whether we'll have high precipitation storms in the summer or low precipitation storms, but I think it's often a sign that if we get into a consistent pattern of instability into the spring, it tends to sort of continue into the summer. I found in the past here in Wells particularly. Was snowing hard here this morning, actually. Was snowing hard. So what are we looking at for snow? Southern BC might see a little bit over the next bunch of days. I'm sure there's times that the Coquihalla is going to be gross. There's times that the Highway 3 will be gross. There's times the Revelstoke passes there. Rogers will be gross. There'll be times that trying to get into Jasper's gross. So there is a bit of that. The central interior, Caribou, Prince George, Quesnel, you're really not looking at much for snow, at least in the next bunch of days. Up the coast, some of those big mountains are going to see some good dumps for sure in this system. Again, not an incredible system, but the mountaintops have a way of holding things on and just allowing it to continue much longer than you'd hope for. What about rain accumulation? in that same time period. So you might see a little bit of rain in Prince George. You might see a little bit of rain in Quesnel. Williams Lake still looking dry. Probably going to see some rain in the Kamloops area. Probably going to, so, everyone's going to get a little bit of rain. At least it's going to be overcast a lot. It's going to be gloomy. It's going to be shitty at times. Thursday coming in through Friday before it starts to really clear out. And as I showed you, it's not a remarkable pattern. It's not a great, colossal storm. It will certainly make it heavy and wet on Vancouver Island Thursday. Certainly we'll have heavy snow up into the coast mountains, up into the north and whatnot. But as you can see, things kind of work their way out, and they linger on the south there end for a little bit before we start to clear out on Saturday and before we start to enjoy, at least for us down here, a period of a little bit warmer weather. 17s on Monday afternoon in the central interior. That looks good. 19 for Kamloops on Tuesday. Okay, that looks good. So we got a couple nice warm days for sure ahead for us before the next round comes. It's like kind of how the pattern. That's the Pacific pattern. It's like one round, then the next round. Sometime a week from today, probably seeing another stormy system moving on through that will affect us more substantially in the province. Anyways, I hope that just kind of gave you a hint on what's to come over the next few days. Help you make some plans and keep your eyes out there. Keep aware. Keep safe driving on the highways. It's going to be gross at times, my friends. That's right. Hit like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend. Joey, only Caribbean weather dude up here in Wells, BC, up in the mountains. I'm your mountain man, weatherman. I mean, I'm like the only one of my kind anywhere. I mean, like, I'm fucking not kidding about that. All the storm chaser nerds I know, they all live in lowlands. They all live out in the plains. They live in cities and go chasing from them. I'm like unique. So even in the weather world, people are like, I talk to the different weather nerds and meteorologists and stuff in different parts of Canada and America, and they're like, wow, you live at 4,000 feet up there in the BC mountains? That's badass. It's like, of course I'm a freak. Of course I think weird shit. You come live out in the mountains for 15 years and tell me if you're going to see the world the way, or maybe you went and moved into the mountains because that's where the only place in the world you fit in, truly. That's kind of how more it is. So either you come here and fit in already, or you come here and then you don't fit in after you've been here for too long, because the mountain life will change your thinking. It's not like the outside world here, and I don't want it to be. Like I was saying in my one funny video last night. I am kind of that conservative guy who's scared of cities, even though I'm not really a conservative, I guess. But that was the meme I was putting out, and I was like, yeah, everything on that meme was me. It's like, oh, the people are there, I saw that thing on the news. It's like, that's me. Yeah, I'm like, don't go there. That's a terrifying place. It's lights and noise and people. Anyways, old man's going to get to work here today. So that's it for me for now. I'll talk to you later, friends. Bye now.